This is not a test. This is rock and roll.
I wake up every morning in a bed that's too small, drive my daughter to a school that's too expensive, and then I go to work to a job for which I get paid too little.
Oh, this is gonna be fun. We can stay up late, swapping manly stories, and in the morning, I'm making waffles.
You're waking up with the Morning App on 90.5 WASU.
Good morning. The Morning App is back from spring break, and we're ready to kick it off. And it is me, Joshua, and Katie on for today's show. No Dovey.
No.
Dovey has some, I think, work to do for his actual professional career, which
Who needs that?
I guess Dovey does. Dovey found the need to not only miss the last show to be in New York for the IBS Awards, but also to miss the first show back from spring break. So
It's practically a holiday, the first morning show back from spring break.
yeah, I actually wonder how many people are going to be actually. It doesn't feel like school starting back up. I don't know.
Yeah.
It felt like that spring break was way longer than any other spring break I've had.
No, for sure. Well, and some of that, too, was when we went up to New York, like the team of us from the station and App TV, we got off of school. Like, I got excused from my classes on Thursday and Friday. So it was like, I got back from New York on Sunday, and it was like, there's still spring break. There's still like another week. What am I going to do with my time? I have all this free time, but nothing. Like, it's like I have no plans. So I just stayed up here and worked kind of, but I ended up going skiing. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep. It was cool. I went with my grandpa and some of his friends, and one of his friends is 85 years old and can ski like a pro. Like, the dude has just like, you can tell that he's been skiing a long time because his turns were just so perfected. But 85 years old. Not my grandpa, one of his friends.
Does the friend work at the university?
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't think so, though.
One of my professors from last year actually is, I think, the president of like the ski club here, and he's old. I don't know how old, but he actually had like an incident during the semester that I had him with, but he's back on his feet and back skiing, which is nice. But there's some old people up there, which, no offense to like any of the old people, I think it's fantastic that everyone's still out there doing all that.
Well, if you're over 70, you get to ski for free. I think Sugar and Beach. Yeah, my grandpa skis for free because they like, once you're over 70, you know, they don't have that many people, I guess, that are like, I don't know, because my grandpa's in great shape, but some of his friends may not be, you know, but a lot of his friends still are. He's also, you know, the baby boomers, he was really worried because he says that a lot of the deals for, you know, people like senior discounts or whatever, that they'll get rid of those once all the baby boomers have come up into those ages because there's so many of them, you know? And so they're just like, we'll get rid of the discount, you know, because I guess they start losing money because there's just so many of them. But he was so worried that he wouldn't get the skiing discount because he's like, no. But they still have it. It's really cool.
See, discounts are very important to the elderly people. I come from a like small kind of retirement community back home, and every single Wednesday at IGA, there's that senior discount day. And that's when it fills up.
IGAs are still a thing.
At least back in my town.
Wow. I don't think because I'm from Mooresville, and I don't think there's ever been an IGA anywhere near.
Maybe there's not enough elderly people out there. I don't know. The Senior Discount Wednesday, that's a national holiday in my town. And every single time I try to see like grandma or try to help her out. Where is she on Wednesday? IGA.
Wow, I bet that's like such a social thing too. It's like, it's Wednesday,
sure.
Like let me go see my friends at IGA. My gosh.
Let me see my friends that I just saw at the little church group the other day, earlier this morning, and volunteering at the Senior Citizen Center. But that's a big deal.
I don't know. It's like I think that's what's interesting too is there's part of me that doesn't want to grow up, you know, like, but it's cool because each age range, at least, like once you start getting into your 20s, it's a different kind of like subculture within like your friend group and everything. And like what you do is different than like what I did in high school. And then like once you get into your like 30s, 40s, then you start doing other things. And I think that's kind of cool. That you get kind of, I don't know, I think I'd be bored doing the same things all the time. Like, what if we were stuck in college forever? You know, it's just...
Well, as you grow up, too, there's more and more things that are acceptable as well. That, like, I can't even... Going to work, a lot of people, you know, don't like going to work now as a kid because I want to be doing all this stuff. Honestly, as an adult, and you see it, which is, it's kind of sad, but it kind of isn't. As an adult, people are like, oh, I'm going to work. You know, it's kind of like my away time from maybe my family or from like other obligations, just going to work and having fun. And like things are just more acceptable as you get older, I feel like.
Yeah, no, that's definitely true. I also, one part of getting older that I've liked at least is that I've been able to go more places too, you know, without necessarily having to have my parents with me. Like, we went up to New York, and it was like, I mean, it was through the school, so it was technically still chaperoned, but... What
a rebel.
I
Took
know.
a New York trip in the middle of a school week.
I know, but yeah, no, it's just cool, because then even while it was a school trip, he was, like, still very, you know, like, Rob, who went with us, he was like, you know, all right, you guys can go explore the city, you know, like, be back at this time, but, like, I trust you. You guys are old enough that you shouldn't, you know, like, you know how to get around. Like, he taught us the subway, and he was like, okay, this is how the subway works, kids.
My parents don't even trust me in Hobby Lobby anymore. Like, I've never been...
Why Hobby Lobby?
Because there's so many glass things that you can touch and break. I've never been allowed in Hobby Lobby alone.
Huh?
Yeah.
I never realized there were that many glass things in Hobby Lobby.
Oh, yeah, they have all the displays and everything, but I'm glad to see that Rob was able to let you guys have some freedom, because Rob is the man, but again, college kids in New York City.
Yeah, you never know. We almost got lost, but we made it back. It was just the subway is very confusing, because it's one of those things, there weren't enough people around to really ask at that time.
In New York, there's not enough people to ask.
Well, okay, but everyone seemed in a hurry, and we didn't want to bother them.
Okay, so it wasn't that. It was the fact that you all were scared of the New York people.
Okay, maybe. And so we asked one guy, but he was like, oh, I'm also a tourist. And he was like, because he was trying to ask us about the subway. We were like, we were actually just about to ask you, because we don't know what we're doing.
The chances of one person you ask is also a tourist. Yeah, okay, Katie, that person was lying to you.
No, he wasn't. I don't think so.
He was like, oh boy, here we go, here we go.
Like, here, a group of girls just came up, and but it was one of those things that it was good to learn. We were like, okay, we can somehow make it back, but we did make it back on the subway, but it's overwhelming up there. Like,
Is there a subway map like the maps that are in the malls? Do you know what I'm talking about? Because that would be ideal.
Yes,
like,
but there's so many routes and everything that it gets very confusing, and they go different directions. I think the colors, I just got very...
Because like if you're on, I don't know, Metro A, whatever, I don't even know what they're called. Subway A?
I forget what they were. It was like by color, and I think it was by letter.
Okay, if it's like Metro A, it's like, okay, if we go this way, we'll pass the Belk and we'll pass the JCPenney, but then if we keep going on Metro B, we'll go to the Banana Republic and all that. Like, that's the type of map that I want.
Yeah, and it was like that if you were, I think maybe it was just we weren't familiar enough with it, but it was confusing because all of the subway, like, stops looked the same. So it was like, sometimes you had to cross over the tracks to get to the, like, to be able to change trains, basically, or change subways. Yeah. But it was confusing because you'd cross over, but you're like, this looked exactly the same as the place I was before. How do I know that this is, you know? And it was just very easy to get confused with, like, I don't know. But some of that is just I overthink things like that, and I get worried. I'm directionally challenged sometimes, and it's just like you get so turned around because you're underground. So it's not even like you can really look and see, like, okay, I see the Empire State Building that way. That means I need to go this way, you know.
You know, I think I've actually single-handedly just figured out what we need to do. I think there needs to be malls in the subway, because then you would know where you're going. Each stop would be different. You get off, there's a JCPenney.
No, see, that's what I'm saying. If you had different colors in there. But see, that's just more of a tourist thing.
That'd be
something I'd like. Yeah, like,
that'd be such a business thing, too.
Yeah, that's true.
There's so many people going in and out of the subway, Katie.
Okay.
It's groundbreaking.
Yeah,
You could put a JCPenney's, a Belk. That's all the clothing stores I know. But
yeah. New York was cool, though. I really enjoyed it, but it was one of those places that I was very glad to come home. Like, you could tell all of us once we got back, we're like, Boone, yes. Because it's so fast-paced. Like, it's just moving. Everyone's moving so quickly, and it's overwhelming. And I was not prepared. I don't know.
Was it cool? It was cool, though.
No, it was so cool. Like, I'd love to go visit again, even. And like, I was talking to one of my friends who's never been, and she's like, "Oh, that sounds so cool." Like there are people on the trip who hadn't been before, and just seeing their faces light up, like looking at Times Square, the places you only see in movies, because New York has been in so many movies that. I don't know, it's really cool. And Dovey, he was talking about how he played the Spider-Man game. Yeah, Dovey. He was talking about how he played the Spider-Man game and that he knew where we were based on the Spider-Man. He's like, oh, this is where this is. That must mean we're in this, like, district or something. I was like, what? He knew it from the Spider-Man game. But I've always wondered if that was an accurate map of New York City, but I guess it is. At least fairly.
Dovey's like, oh, yeah, that's where I defeated the Green Goblin. Back in the middle of Times Square. But it is just me and Katie on the morning app this morning. We're going to be talking and getting all of our feelings out on the new Captain Marvel movie without any spoilers. So stay tuned here on the morning app.
And now back to your favorite morning talk show, The Morning App, on 90.5 WASU.
Well, the last morning show, it was all the Morning Men. And this show is now just Joshua and Kati here on the Morning App.
We're really mixing it up, keeping people on their toes. You never know what to expect on the Morning App.
We're just losing everybody. We barely have any listeners, and now we barely have any hosts.
None of our friends decided to come. How sad.
Yeah, well,
Natalie's listening upstairs. So.
Yeah, Natalie's our producer, so she's producing the show, which...
Running the cameras. Hi, Natalie.
Dovey is actually on work function, and the Morning Men, I guess, got canned, so they're just not here.
Yeah, they're canceled. We decided.
I did not think the Morning Men did a terrible job, though.
No. So I only heard part of it, but I thought you guys were funny.
All the doubts
all the doubts.
We quieted the naysayers and
Okay.
able to rise up.
Well, I haven't heard the whole show, so I still may have some complaints.
Well, definitely don't go and listen to it. But
Okay, yeah.
moving away from the Morning Men, we went to see Captain Marvel. Kati, you went a couple days ago. I just went last night at the very last showing of it. I had to fit it in before the show.
Oh yeah.
And it was a good film. Before we even talk about that, there is no one at the movie theater at 10:20 on a Sunday.
I wouldn't think so. Sunday's not a really, people are probably freaking out about homework they forgot about, so.
Me and my girlfriend we were rushed because we were trying to get food as well, so we took food to go. We took burgers and fries to go, and we were going to hide it and take it into the movie theater with us, and we had a whole, coat over it. We were ready, and we walk in. There was one person working. We didn't have to hide anything, and we just walked straight in, and we ate our burgers and fries just in the middle of the theater.
Nice. Was that not loud, crinkly or anything?
Nobody was there.
Oh. Didn't you say there were other people in the theater?
They eventually showed up, but we had already eaten all our food
by
that time. But it was 5 people maybe.
Dude, that's the best, though, is when you do go to a movie and it's just, you and another person or something. You can just talk through them. Okay, so I love to talk during movies because I just love to be like, oh, my gosh, I can't believe they did that. Or, do you think they're going to do this? I think it just makes it much more of a social thing instead of, going with your friend and then not talking the whole time, just sitting side by side and just elbowing the person oh my gosh, this is what's happening. But that's the best scenario because you can be as loud as you want and it doesn't matter.
But see, and then we walked out of the theater and there was no one in the lobby. It ended at 12:30, and there wasn't a single person. We were looking for someone to take our photo together, and we could have literally stolen anything we wanted. We could have stolen because there was nobody behind the concession stand, nobody in the entire building. We could have ran around in circles and done anything we wanted. I can't think of anything more rebellious than just running around in circles. But
I feel like you could do that even if it was
probably, yeah. But there wasn't anybody there. Even as we walked out, I kept looking in there. No one showed up.
Well, that's something.
Yeah.
Well, someone's got to be there to lock it up. Even if that is the last showing of any of the movies, you think someone would be there to lock it up. So maybe he was just hiding, or she was hiding
maybe the
somewhere.
theater is just a public setting. Anyone can just go and as they please.
I don't know about all that. But.
Well, either way, Captain Marvel it was good. It was. I had some thoughts about it because I thought, but without spoiling anything, because we're not going to do that.
No.
I thought the beginning was a little confusing.
Okay.
And I thought that they kind of tried to mash everything together the way they wanted it, not necessarily how it fit, or even to tell the most concise story.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
No. It for sure. I think they did try to cover a lot, and it seems very obvious that they cut out a lot to make it fit that 2-hour time span. I think it was 2 hours. And so, because the Marvel standalone movies can't necessarily go as long as Endgame, for example, which is supposed to be 3 hours.
I wish they could.
Oh, dude, yeah. Well, and a lot of people would enjoy that, but I guess they're trying to reach other people, too, who just might be casually watching it.
If they did the Netflix shows where they had 12 episodes or 13 of them, that'd be nice, because a 13-episode Captain America series, yeah.
Yeah, but something like that would have been nice to have more backstory, because you really didn't get a lot of her time on Earth, and you're kind of you get very small glimpses, and it's just, that's one of the things that at least my friends and I are talking about. Oh, we wish we could have seen more of what she was like on Earth, her and her friend. And I mean, none of that's really spoilers. You could see that in the trailer, but it was really good though. It just, I wish that the plot, or like either had been longer, or if they had just cut out some of the like parts of it so they'd be more like concise and like clear. But it was really cool. Like a lot, it came out on International Women's Day, and like
so powerful.
What a flex. And like it was really cool that people were like, I think before Captain Marvel came out, I heard a lot of people complaining that they made Captain Marvel girl. They're like, I don't think it's going to be as strong that way, since Captain Marvel's supposed to save them from Thanos and like all of that. And I was really worried that people were going to be like, like they shouldn't have a woman in that role, that they're trying to push too hard to have female characters. But honestly, I heard nothing but good things from people about Captain Marvel, like being a good movie, other than the plot concerns. Like people were a little wished, the same things. They said that it was a little bit rushed, but I heard really good things about like the actress. Everyone loved the actress, and like, but you said that you weren't sure about the actress.
I thought at times she was good, but then at other times she tried to insert maybe humor into spots that weren't needed. She was kind of a lot of and which isn't her. That's the writing. Yeah. But a lot of her jokes felt forced at times, and at other times when you wanted her to be like really serious or intimidating, she kind of wasn't. Or even if she was trying to be serious or intimidating, like it felt flat sometimes. Yeah. Which that could go to the acting, could go to the writing. Like I don't know. Yeah. She's a great actress. Like we're not even arguing that. But I thought at times it was just misplaced writing in the movie. Yeah. Another area that just everyone was way too accepting of aliens. Was it just me, or like?
Yeah. No, because you do think about it. Now that we've seen a lot of the Marvel movies where they just, casually have aliens thrown in, it's something that you forget that this was the 90s, and like
this was the first one.
Yeah, and Nick Fury was like, aliens? Like he didn't even know that they're, because he wasn't around for the whole Captain America era. He probably knew, I'm sure he knew about it since he was in S.H.I.E.L.D. But like he hadn't seen any of it firsthand, so you think about like, it was weird to see that happen. I was like, well, of course, why is he disbelieving this? But then I was like, oh, yeah, he has no idea that this is actually a thing.
But see, Fury acted like, I thought acted like he had already happened all the other movies, in my opinion. He just dove right in. He was like, oh, yeah. He's like, I've been trying to defend the threats here, but I never thought they could come from up there. He said that so casually, like not even like scared at all or anything. He was just like, yep. They're out there. But they're there.
I mean, but he knows that things had been happening, like based on
up there.
What? But at least he has the history of knowing, and that you don't know what kind of even like threats that they had been having during that time, anyways. It could have been anything.
He even said, I've only been trying to stop the threats here, but I've never even thought that they could come up from up there, because they've never had an encounter like that. He was just way too accepting. Even later on in the film, when you meet some of her friends from her earthly life, but they were too accepting.
Don't you think that he kind of has to be that way, though, to be in S.H.I.E.L.D.? That he has to be able to kind of just work with the, like...
Well, I don't think S.H.I.E.L.D. was that before. S.H.I.E.L.D. wasn't an alien, like, fighting force before. It was just... They were just a normal fighting force. That's why S.H.I.E.L.D. eventually became that, I think, but... I just thought it's too accepting of aliens.
Okay. But I just feel like even with whatever S.H.I.E.L.D. was, they've had to work with like crazy stuff before. So you just kind of have to learn to go with the flow and be like, okay, this is happening. I'm not going to panic. I'm going to deal with this the way it should be dealt with and panic later kind of thing. And I don't know. It was cool to see Coulson too.
Yeah, I was about to say, I really miss the guy.
Yeah. Have you heard there's people who are like, oh, it's so nice to see Coulson, like, alive again? I was like, they have that whole show dedicated to him being alive again.
Which I'm very confused at that. I've always wanted to just watch that show to see how he came back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they definitely explain it. Okay. I've seen all of it. All of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., yeah.
See, I'm very interested in that, but that's funny. People are like, "Oh, he's back. He's alive again."
He's been back, but
nope.
okay.
This was also set way before any other movie, so
yeah,
that's great. But there are 2 post-credit scenes, and
the first one, crazy.
First one's important.
Yes.
The other one after that.
Yeah,
probably
more
definitely,
comical.
Yeah, you definitely don't have to wait through the entire
No, but you
credits.
should. You should.
You
should. Come on.
Okay, I mean. Okay,
it's
Katie.
Funny.
It was funny, but I don't think it was worth. It was 3 seconds, and it wasn't worth the regular credits. But nonetheless, Captain Marvel is in theaters right now. But on the other side of the break, we got Would You Rather here on the Morning App.
WASU and WASUradio.com.
Would you rather here on the morning app? It's Joshua and Katie this morning. We're still missing our co-hosts. They have not returned, and they're definitely not going to. So we'll get them later on the week.
Yeah. Well, Dovey will be here Wednesday.
I won't be.
Well,
so
you can only have one.
It's a rotating door at this point. But we are going to continue with our Would You Rather. Me and Katie we're about to duke it out here, and we're going to start off with this one's kind of a, I don't know, moral type of question. Would you rather wipe out all the bad people or wipe out all the bad things? And when I say bad things, I mean the non-living things in this world. Say, I mean, I guess technically cancer is living, but cancer, bad, I don't know, diseases, any of that type of stuff. Would you rather wipe out all the bad people or wipe out all the bad things? My thinking on this is you wipe out all the bad things because technically people can change.
Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily for you to judge on whether a person's bad or not, So
well,
I think...
I mean, I'm going to judge.
But I don't think... We're not Thanos. Like, we can't decide that...
Oh, if we were Thanos, though, I'm snapping my fingers immediately. We have too much population already, Katie.
That's fair. But, I don't know. I feel like that's not necessarily that's a hard question because, I don't know. I don't think that I could really say...
Because people can't change, but a lot of the really, really bad people in the history of the world, they definitely didn't change, and I mean, we're looking at you, Hitler. We're looking at several other people. Just they didn't change, so you could just wipe out all of them, and then the world would be a happier, better place. But someone has to make that call.
Well, I think I'll agree with you about the bad things. We'll get rid of those.
Okay. Hashtag Thanos did nothing wrong. But we'll move on to the next one. This one's a interesting one. Would you rather have all your choices made by individuals or by a randomized generator? That's risky.
Hold on. So you're saying my friends or something, or just random people?
I think it's just individuals. I guess it would.
So what you're saying is that it's either
could
a
be friends.
person who's thinking through it, or a computer who's just spitting out random things.
Yeah, it could be your friends. Say you're trying to decide between whether you want to eat a burger or a pizza, and your friend is right to your left. You can ask your friends, and they get to make your choice for you. I view that question as whoever you're around decides for you.
Interesting. So you're saying this is all decisions, or
all
just...
decisions? Every choice you've ever made. Your choice to come to the show this morning, you rolled over in your bed, looked at your cat, and your cat made the decision for you.
I don't have a cat.
Okay.
What?
Your roommate.
Okay. I was going to say, so you're saying cats can decide now? They're part of the decision?
Okay. Individuals. I forgot that you actually had a roommate. I was trying to figure out who could make that decision for you in the morning.
Can you imagine if cats made decisions for people?
It would literally be just feed me, pet me, or...
Of course, the cat wouldn't want you to leave because it'd want attention,
Well, yeah.
So you'd never be able to go anywhere.
Okay,
You'd be stuck in the apartment.
Then randomized generator?
But I thought cats weren't included.
Oh, they're not. Okay, people. Maybe your roommate doesn't want you to leave either.
But you would understand that because then it would have just been you on the show.
But again, think about it. If you have individuals making the decision for you, you'd be like, oh, they'd understand. But they get to choose. You literally are their own almost puppet.
But if it was a randomized thing, then the computer wouldn't ever, so at least with people, you have the idea that they're at least going to try to consider, what you want to do or, what's going to work best for you. A computer's not going to, unless for some reason you could feed it information, about, why you were making this decision, and it could give you the most logical.
But it's also completely random.
Yeah.
So you get literally every single potential, ending or potential solution choice.
Well, so then I guess the people is the less risky option. But it also would be very exciting to have a computer decide, because you know what I mean? People are predictable, but computers are not. You would just be should I go to the show this morning? And you'd roll a dice or something.
The magic 8-ball?
Yeah. The magic conch.
Well, the answer would be no to all of those questions every single time, but...
No, the magic conch sometimes said yes.
to anyone but Squidward. Okay, if you're not Squidward, you're fine for the magic conch. I don't know. See, I could run other people's lives, but I can't run my own. So if someone else was needing choices to be made, I could do that easy. Way easy. I'm telling you, I could run someone's life very well. I can't run my own, which is kind of weird because I can't make decisions.
Okay. Well, I feel like the computer is very exciting, but I suppose people is the more logical option.
You're going to turn against IBM Watson.
Is that who's deciding?
I thought of the smartest computer I knew, and I know IBM Watson killed it on Jeopardy when I watched it back in the day.
Yeah. Oh, Jeopardy. That's sad about the Alex.
Yeah, big shout out to Alex Trebek, the host, who just stage 4 cancer right now, so he's battling it. We're praying for him and everything, hoping that he comes through. But great show.
Have you seen the segment where he's talking about it?
Oh yeah.
That's that's the coolest thing, because they're talking about, it's one of the grimmest diagnoses, but he delivers it the same way he'd say an answer.
He's reading it from a card still.
Yeah, but it's really cool. You can tell how talented he is, and definitely someone to look up to, in the broadcasting world, because he's just so good at what he does.
Oh yeah.
And I've seen, oh my gosh, what was I watching? Well, I was watching Jeopardy, but I was trying to remember what the question was, and no one knew the answer, or the answers they were giving were just stupid, just not.
He's savage.
And he would just the looks on his face. He was just what?
He's ruthless sometimes.
Oh,
I'm like, Alex, give it to him.
Yeah, no.
Let him know.
Well, because it's such a serious show, and he does it in a way where it's pretty low key, but you can tell that he's why are they on this? They know nothing. It's so funny.
Well,
yeah.
Little side tangent there, but yeah.
Jeopardy.
Looking out for Alex Trebek, but I guess we're picking the individuals to make our decisions for us. I guess.
How perfectly boring.
Yeah, right? Okay, we got one more thing. This one's really cool, either way. Would you rather make an imaginary thing become reality by drawing it, or make any real thing disappear by drawing and erasing it?
By drawing and erasing it?
Yep. So you draw it and then you erase it. So say I didn't want you on this show right now, Kitty. Say I wanted to be the only host on this show.
Okay.
I would sit here, draw a picture of you. It'd be a stick figure, but I'd draw it of you and then erase it, and you're gone.
From existence, or just from the show?
I guess from existence too. But I would draw you back, and then you could come back.
Oh, but would I be the same after I came back?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a risk
risky.
I'm willing to take.
That's risky. But see, then the other way, so if you're just drawing things into, being, well, actually both ways you are, but one way you're getting to erase.
So if we want another co-host right now, we would draw Dovey, and he'd be here.
Aw. Well, but then would that mean that there's 2 Dovies running around?
Probably. We definitely don't want that.
Yeah. No. Well, but I was just thinking, have you seen that episode of SpongeBob, the
Of
Doodle
course.
Bob? Yeah.
That's basically what it would be.
That's terrifying. That episode haunts me to this day. I don't want either option, because that episode has terrified me of anything of that sort.
That may have been the greatest episode ever made, though.
It was terrifying.
That was
no,
a funny
it was
episode.
creepy. Doodle Bob is creepy. I hated that episode. I stand by that.
Wow. That might have to be a argument for Friday. Which is that episode actually good or not? Because that is the greatest episode.
It's good, but it's scary. I'm just saying, I don't like to watch it.
All right, well, Katie, I guess I'm gonna draw something and make it appear. I won't erase anything from existence. Well, on the other side of the break, we have our relationship segment here on the morning app.
And now back to the morning app on 90.5 WASU.
Back here on the morning app, it's our relationship segment, and it's not really about relationship. It's about what's going on.
First off, on this song, this song this song. It's been haunting me lately. I have heard it, I went from never hearing it to hearing it all the time, random places. And it's just immediately a trigger for this show because it's just it's the relationship segment, oh my gosh.
Just to get ready, you're relationships.
Even before Captain Marvel, there was some kind of commercial. I don't even remember what it was. It was for M&Ms or something, but it had that song in it, and I was just oh my gosh.
Gotta be knowledgeable. Well, today we're talking. We're not really talking actual relationships. We're talking reality TV show relationship, and The Bachelor, which this was my biggest complaint when watching the only 20-minute segment I've watched all year long on the show, is that how can a man tell 4 different women he is in love with them?
He hasn't said that he's in love with all 4 of them. He said that he's falling.
Okay, let me rephrase that. How can a man ask and tell 4 different women that he's falling in love with them? That's not right. That is wrong, and that's not true either. He is lying. He is not falling in love with all 4 of them.
And some of that you think about is for TV. Obviously, he's probably narrowed it down. Even when it was the top 4, he had probably narrowed it down beyond that to, okay, well, I like these 2 girls best. But he has to at least pretend,
That's
for
terrible.
the show. Yeah. Because Colton is one of those people that I really don't think was ever meant to be on this show because he gets far too, emotionally attached to people, I think. And this whole time it's been no, but it's I just don't know why he was on the show necessarily because previous bachelors and bachelorettes are more okay with having kind of the rotation of people. Because some people really can handle that. They'll not date multiple people, but they'll be talking to multiple people. I can't do that, but people, I know some people who do like to do that. They'll won't necessarily talk to just one person. They'll talk to multiple people, and they can. I don't know. That's just
but
I think a personal thing.
This isn't even talking. What he's gonna do.
But he is basically.
Okay. So we're going straight from talking to I'm proposing to you.
But most of the time, so the show has to end with an engagement, basically. That's, the premise of the show. But they usually have the engagements last a long time. And so, the engagements will last, a year or 2. But it's basically they're dating during that time. So it's not necessarily an engagement the way we always think of it. But
that must be nice, dating and knowing that you're not going to break up. You're engaged. We're already engaged. We're good.
Yeah, we got to stay together long enough because The Bachelor is paying us. I don't know. I don't know. I can kind of see it, but I couldn't be on a show like that because I get way too competitive. And that's where a lot of the girls on the show, it becomes a game for them. And I think that's fascinating to watch. It's not so much, they don't even, they're not so much there for, the right reason. They're not there to get Colton necessarily. They're there to try to make themselves look better and be able to get deals out of it and sponsorships. And it's for some girls that's just where they are. Those girls, because someone was telling me the other day, wait, was it no, who was it that was telling me that? I think it was my brother who said his professor. It doesn't matter. But anyways, someone said that all of those girls are 10s, and so how could, he said that's the most unrealistic part of it is that all these girls couldn't find, anyone to date, and so they had to go on the show. But that's not the reason they're there, though. They're there because they want, one of the girls, Demi, she's been, the whole show, she's been trying to build this character out of herself and be, outlandish and say crazy things, and everyone loves her for it. And so she's done a great job at, everyone knows who she is, even though she got kicked off, not relatively early. She was, halfway through. But,
I don't know of her, so.
Yeah. No, okay, but you haven't been watching it.
I watched, the last 2-ish.
But she wasn't on those.
Then she's not worth my time then.
Okay.
She didn't make it. But
that's interesting.
You're talking about these women. What a confidence booster, right? To know that out of these 10 women that are, most of them are pretty attractive. Like, they don't pick people who aren't, like, attractive in the standard eye, of course. Yeah. And to come out of these, like, 10 or however many women, that's a big confidence booster. Be like, whoa, this guy picked me out of everybody.
Yeah. I mean, definitely. I think that making it, you can tell that every time that they get a rose, they're like, okay, I've made it farther. Like, this is validation that, like, at least I'm playing the game right kind of thing, you know? And so I think at this point, though, the people who are left, I think they really do like him. And even if they didn't, I think being on a show like that, you would convince yourself that you did, you know? Like, you would be like, I put in this much time trying to get this guy to like me. Like, you know what I mean? So I wonder how it is after they get engaged, if they're like, oh, this is kind of boring now.
What if they just stop trying? What if they're like, every single time they do something nice, they're like, where's my rose?
It would honestly be a little boring, because you'd be like, this isn't a game anymore. He's mine now, I guess. So but I don't know.
She makes him dinner one night. Okay, where's my rose?
Yeah.
Give me my rose. I made you dinner. Come on.
I don't know. But all in all, I think it's a very entertaining show. I love it.
I'm not arguing that. It's just no guy can be in love with 4 different women or falling in love.
He's not in love. Okay.
Okay, can't be falling in love. That's not fair.
Okay.
That's not fair.
Okay.
We're wrapping up the rest of the morning app here on the other side of the break.
And now back to your favorite morning talk show, The Morning App, on 90.5 WASU.
So in case you haven't heard, there's a new boy band back together.
Yes.
Apparently. And Katie's loving it.
No, dude, I'm so excited. Because we talked about it on the show before, about the Jonas Brothers. They were rumored to be coming back, but now they're actually back. And it's great.
It was rumored they're coming back. Did their parents just drop like a subtle hint to Entertainment Tonight to like, psst, they're talking again?
I don't know. Well, I think it's become a lot harder to keep things secret with social media and everything. It could have been released a number of ways.
Also, confession time. I didn't know the Jonas Brothers were actual brothers. I didn't know that until their newest arrival. I didn't know. I just thought they were just made up.
They decided to call themselves the Jonas Brothers for no reason.
Yeah, thought they were just a bunch of bros. I really
Just
did
a
not
bunch
know
of
they were.
bros.
I didn't know they were family.
Oh my gosh. But no, it's an exciting thing.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay.
Why would you think not?
I just don't think they bring much. I don't think their new song's that great.
Okay, so I would agree that the new song. Hold on. Listen. So I would agree that the new song isn't the best. Like I like it, but it could have been better. You know, I was expecting a little more. So I'm thinking though that with their later releases of songs, that I'm hoping for some. I don't know. But I've honestly really grown to like the song. At first when I heard it, I was like, but then I really like it now. But
we're all just a sucker for their charisma and charm.
No, I've been watching a bunch of their interviews because they've been on the James Corden show, the late show.
I did watch it, yes.
Those are so fun. Like they're funny dudes. They're cool. Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah.
Some of their interviews were awkward at times, I thought. But
yeah, I mean, but they haven't been doing that many interviews, I guess, altogether, so it'd be kind of something.
I don't know. I just don't see the hype.
But it's exciting, okay? They've come back. They're doing a good job.
What happens when they break up again? Because they will.
Then we move on. Then we're just happy that we got
I swear,
a second.
If I'm 30 and I hear they get back together again and they bring out another new song that's just not good.
From wherever I am, I'll just call you and be like, it's happening again.
I'll be like, I'm tired. Like, you can only break up and come back together so many times before we stop watching, right?
No, I think they could.
Okay.
I think they could come back again.
Well, good for them. But, I don't know. All the Jonas Brothers hype makes me sick. But we'll be back on Wednesday with some morning app. Thanks for listening.